Oh guys, we're back. Right, just to get this back open again. Let me know when you guys get back in here. Right. Right. Dante, I'm just loading up again and I'll show you again. I just had a power outage there, so that was kind of crap. But what can you do? Right. So I am probably going to have to open up. Right, give me a second guys, I need to reopen something up here and delete it. I'm going to go to saved, save games, delete that. Ah, that's not what I wanted to do. Right, we need to delete the games. Okay, we're back. So, this is for you, Dante. We press play, new game. It's going to take a second to. Oh, that was pretty quick. Right, so back to where we were, right? So, what we do is we probe for minerals. And we build our buildings. Right, so we build a refiner. Well, at the moment it's called Fabrica Espace. Now, whether that changes or not, I don't know. Join the Patreon. Put in a tip, or no, sorry, put in a suggestion of a name, and I'll consider it if it sounds better than Fabrica Espace. Right, so spin these around, and this is where things start getting interesting. Right, because this is probably the part that you've never seen, and is actually the main part of the game, right? But we've just been working on other things up until now. So what we can do is we can select what we want to make, right? And in this case, we're going to make iron sheets. Then this is going to make research, right? And then this is going to research something, right? But there's no research selected. But what we can do is we can select probes, probe 1, right? Now what we need to do now is put Fabrica Espace. Right, so what we do is we can join up our buildings with conveyor belts. Right? Now, always do the minor last, just for a laugh. And then this will go into here. Okay? And then what you can do is we can join our minor to here. And then what starts happening is bauxite goes in here and it comes out as iron ore. Then it goes into here as iron ore and comes out as iron plate. Comes in as iron plate and comes out as a research 1 test tube. Then it comes in here and then this will start researching. Okay? So we'll gradually see that happening. So you can see now that this is coming out of here. And you can see it's a different barrel. We've got a few models that we want to use, and different models we want to use anyway, right? And now you can see the sheets coming out, right? The lighting's not right. These should be silver, but because of the lighting and the way it's on a black thing, it doesn't actually look that great. But then it's going to come in here and get turned into something else, which is the big test tubey things. Right, these test tubey things. And then the test tubey things will get fed into research. And then they will start researching. Okay? So if we leave that running for a minute, right? And then there's splitters and combiners and stuff, right? So you can actually split outputs and inputs and do different things with that, right? But now, if we look at our research, you'll notice it's filling up, right? And if we actually look at the research now, well, it's not got a current process. We need to fill that in. But it has got a current process. Right? So if we actually click on research, you'll see that this is gradually filling up. And then when this is done, we'll have this available, or these all available, etc., etc., right? So there'll be different things that you'll be able to build, right? I've just got a few at the moment, but this is all working, that my outputs and inputs all work. So you'll notice as well that at some point this thing will probably stop as well, but it's not really stopping. It's just basically that this will like send a message back saying I don't need any more right now, and it's recursive. So like if for example this was another thing getting made, right, and this became full, then it would gradually, the output would fill up until it said I can't take any more, then it would stop processing, and therefore the input would fill up, right? And then once the input's filled up on that one, it would basically send a message back saying don't send any more. And then it would go through the same process of basically filling up with everything and saying stop, 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 and then this one would get sent a message to stop. Right? And basically that's how it works. So you'll have to be gradually building stuff to like make weapons, like bullets and ammo and stuff like that, so that you can basically you can build these, right? So like the guns will come out and work, right? That's me just testing the laser beams at the moment, but that's kind of the idea. And these will spin around, so there's going to be like bad guys, and once the bad guys come out to play, then these will automatically lock onto them and fire. And then obviously the rocket as well, this rocket launcher here. So you'll have to build rockets, and you'll have to build all the different things, like as you go up. Yeah, I had a power outage for about 5 minutes there. I thought I'd better come back quick and let Dante see what the actual point of the game is. Right? So when you actually send the probes out, it isn't necessarily going to find you a miner, right, or a mine. It may or it may not, and it depends what it finds as the minerals, right? So my intention is to have like bauxite, copper, gold, silicon, gypsum, right? But those will be different things on the tech tree, right? You'll notice now this is nearly full. So like probe 1s will only be able to find X, Y, and Z, right? But like probe 2s might be able to find X, Y, and Z plus something else. And then like probe 3s will be X, Y, Z plus everything else, right? So you'll gradually have to upgrade your drones, and then to make certain things you'll have to mine them. So to find them you'll need to upgrade your probes. To mine them you'll need to upgrade your miners. To refine them, you know, basically blah blah blah. Now this isn't the end of the tech tree, this is just the start of the tech tree, right? Because as you can see, we can actually scroll it around. So this can be as big as we want, right? But you can see that's gradually building up. Yeah, these are all things that are in place, right? The idea to have, you know, new meshes and all the rest of it. You'll notice that when, right, if I stop this, right, I'll let you see. If I actually press play and continue, right, if, I'm not showing it anymore. I think I've got to save it. Right. If I press play and go new game, I've switched it off for the most part, right? But if I build probably that, you'll notice it doesn't like highlight, right? It doesn't highlight. And that's because it's actually doing an animation, right? But I've got it turned off, right? But I'm pretty sure if I save it and stop it and continue it, nah, it's not doing it. I've got it turned, right. Okay. Okie dokie. Right. If we go into base building, I shall show you exactly what I mean. Right now, have I got this set up to go? We're doing this destroy cover. Right, we'll save that. Now, I'm not 100% sure how I switched this off, but there we go. Right, you'll notice now this is them getting built, and then they gradually appear. You see? So if we build a building, it gets a thing put around it, and then it does that. Okay? So all the systems we're talking about here are all in place to do exactly what you're talking about, right? But there's just something like the meshes I need. I need meshes, which is why I kind of need support, because if I want that like this, you might think this is pretty good, right? But this is just me mucking around. I just made it out of parts that I already had, right? That kind of fit the, like the same with this one, right? For the fabricator, this is exactly the same. It's just made up of assets that I already had. Right? Well, it doesn't really matter. Right? Polygons these days aren't an issue. The issue is textures, right? Because at the end of the day, I can turn these into instance meshes anyway, and you could draw bajillions of them, right? Which is basically what I do with the products coming out, right? See all the barrels you saw, they're all instance meshes, right? So they are super high efficiency objects, right? And I could do exactly the same with these if I wanted, and it would make absolutely zero difference to the code, but it would make everything faster, right? You can't do it with everything because it does mess some stuff up. And I had to work around a couple of things to make the barrels and the stuff and all the other things instance meshes, right? But fundamentally, the buildings in of themselves won't be an issue, right? Now, I want to do some animation on these so that like the robot arms move and shit like that, but as I said, it was putting all the systems in place first. Like all the systems where things went into one place and came out another. You could set up the recipes. It's got a processing time. It checks the recipe to see if you've got the right parts in the inbox to make it, and only then will it output something, blah blah. There's a lot of systems that have to go in place before you even need to worry really about any of that stuff, right? But as soon as I started placing lots and lots of product on the conveyor belts, now I'm not even sure if it was to do with meshes or not, right? Because those particular products aren't high polygon count stuff. But I turned them all into instance meshes, which means that you can basically throw as many on the screen as you want, and it won't really affect performance very much. You can look up videos on it. It's people have got like asteroid belts with like 10 bajillion asteroids all floating about all over the place, and it doesn't affect frame rate at all. So that's the one consideration I made to that particular thing, or concession, which meant I had to do the collisions sort of different. I had to take the collisions out, and then so basically what happens is I took the collisions out of the instance meshes, and I moved the code from there to when they basically finish the timeline. And the timeline is basically the movement along the spline or along the conveyor belt. So basically when they hit the end of the conveyor belt, then they get passed into the inbox of the building that they've went to, or the splitter, or the storage box, or whatever, right? But that's the way it works. If you want to throw an absolute shitload of meshes on the screen, they're all the same, yes. And on that, I think we shall finish off. We shall be back in 4 hours' time. Mr. Spock, I shall speak to you in Discord. Anybody else? Hit the subscribe button. Check the description for the Discord and the Patreon and my previous game. And I shall see you all in 4 hours' time. Bye bye for now.